So, Rainbow Six. It's taken me a bit of time to get around to doing a decent, because I don't know, I like to play the games to see what they've really got to offer before I go jumping in with an video on for Fallout 4 and what's the other one? Just Cause 3. I think those two will be coming soon. Oh, it's connecting me to the Rainbow Six Siege server, for fuck's sake. In the Rainbow Six series, coming after Rainbow Six Vegas 2. And apart from the title and the whole idea of the game, Siege and Vegas 2 share pretty much nothing. Cool, new camo. Right, so basically the whole idea of it is you have these different operators. So you don't, like on Rainbow Six Vegas 2, you had a character that you customized, and then you went through a campaign, and then you could play multiplayer and stuff. Campaign was the main kind of focus of it for me, really. I didn't do much with the multiplayer, but it seems like with this, it's completely just been turned on its head, and it's multiplayer oriented completely. So you've got these attackers and defenders, and each game is angled around either attacking an objective or defending it. So on multiplayer, you'll have one team attacking and one team defending, obviously, but you have different characters for each one with different abilities. So you can see there it says this Thatcher guy uses EMP grenades to disable any electronics. Thermite sets an exothermic charge that destroys reinforced walls, and so on and so forth. So basically, each of these attackers, these operators, from these 5 different factions so far, I think there's going to be more coming soon, but these are the 5 that we've got so far. They all have a different ability from each other. So if you choose your operators, like kind of tactically, you can actually have a really good team set up, because this guy, for example, you can reinforce the walls, which we'll get onto later, so that you can't breach through it with standard charges. But this guy can breach through any wall, pretty much, that's been reinforced or not, and then you can have people that'll scan for electronics and things like that, and bonuses for defenders and things. So it's pretty good, and some of these like perks, if you want to call them that, kind of complement each other. So yeah, one of the biggest things for me was you don't have a character and you don't customize it, because for me, Rainbow Six Vegas was all about customizing your guy. I think that's something that's got to be in a lot of games these days. It's just customization and making things your own, and it's not in this game, sadly. Apart from the weapons, though, I've got to say the weapon customization is it's all right. I mean, it's not amazingly brilliant or anything, but it's all right. I'll show you a bit of the customization now. So I've chosen the SAS Thatcher operator, and you can see there down the bottom right it says recoil pattern. So all these weapons have different recoil patterns, so you can see it changing there. I think the green is where your first shot will land, the yellow is where your second, and so on. So it's sort of like Counter-Strike. I'm not going to compare it to Counter-Strike too much in terms of the recoil patterns, because this is a lot more stable than some of the Counter-Strike recoil patterns, but it does matter where your recoil goes, and if you can control your recoil, as on Counter-Strike, you're going to have a bit of an advantage. Right, so we're going to get into some customization now. So you have different scopes for different weapons. So a lot of like the Western weapons will have these types of scopes. The Russian ones will have like Russian type scopes and things like that. And if you've got different muzzles, and they affect the recoil patterns accordingly and stuff. Yeah, so you've got foregrip attachments, lasers, camos. These 2 are free. That one's obviously a Christmas one, and that one's for, I think I played the beta, so I got that one for playing in the beta. But you get these different ones here that you can either buy with real money or buy with in-game type money for it. Well, I'll say a long time. It'll take me a long time to save up for it. I'm not that good at that game yet. So that's something to bear in mind. The weapon customization, I'm going to say it isn't amazing. It's good to have some control of what you're customizing, but I'd prefer to be able to customize my guy at least. So I think we've covered the operators. We'll go on to the game modes. As of right now, there's only 3 different game modes. I say game modes, actual types of games. There's situations, which is like these single player little what is it, like scenario type things. Multiplayer is all about 5-on-5 game modes. You'll not ranked later on when you get to the right level. I'm only level 13 at the minute, but you can get to level 20, and that's when you can go into ranked. Terrorist Hunt, that's something that me and my friends have been playing a lot. It's basically like the old style Terrorist Hunt, but with loads of different modes, like hostage extraction, bomb defusal, classic Terrorist Hunt, which is just kill all the terrorists on site, protecting the hostages, things like that, different game modes on different maps. I've got to say the maps on this game are really good as well. Even though there's not a huge array of maps, the maps are really well designed, and they're pretty big for what they are, and take a lot of time to clear through if you're just doing it with a two-man team or something like that. Right, so I think we'll go into a situation so we can see a little bit of gameplay. Disarm a bomb. Bomb. I think we'll do the plain one. Plain one's always a good one. Put it on normal so don't just get nailed straight away.
Airplanes have long been targeted for terrorist attacks. The mobility and the high-profile nature of the attack against random victims appeals to organizations looking to make a name for themselves. This kind of attack, if successful, can make their cause known and increase member recruitment. Tubular assaults provide very little cover and minimal escape routes. The FBI SWAT operator Ash will be deployed for this situation. Her breaching rounds enable you to aggressively seize and control lines of fire.
So that's her special ability there.
Eliminate the terrorists.
Okay, so I'm not sure how good quality this recording is, but the graphics are, I mean, they're not like amazing quality, but I'd put them kind of on par with Battlefield 4 maybe. When you get into like some of the really close quarters buildings and stuff, the graphics are really, really good. Like the reflective surfaces and stuff like that. Right, so these barricade things, when you're in multiplayer, you can put these barricades down on windows and stuff, and then you can crack a little hole in it and peek through. I think these take 3, and then they break. So you've got leaning as well, which is good. You use the left and right stick, click them down while you're aiming to lean. It's pretty useful. This type of game would be a lot this type of mode would be a lot easier if you were playing it with teammates, so you can clear through the entire thing simultaneously rather than taking it floor by floor. But these modes these like little missions are designed as single player. I think basically they're just designed to teach you the basics. One of the things I've noticed about this game though is it seems like you can only really kill them if you land some bullets on their head. Like I've had it before where I've been using a pretty powerful gun, like a SG-556 or something like that, and been putting round after round into an enemy's like midsection. I know they'd be wearing body armor there, but I mean they don't even flinch sometimes. Seems like the fastest, most efficient way to kill people is just to go for their head, which makes sense. But in close quarter situation like that, it's going to be hard to land successful shots on the head at least. Someone behind me now. See what I mean there? I put 5 shots on him, 4 or 5 shots on his chest, and the last one was a headshot, and that one was the one that took him out. So it does seem like it's important you go for headshots, which is why the recoil patterns kind of matter, I think. But the level design's really good. I mean, the plain one won't really show it off, but the level design's really good. The destruction's also really good as well. I'm really pleased with the destruction. So even though it is more multiplayer oriented in terms of these different modes that you play, multiplayer only, it does. I have had quite a lot of fun with this game already. I mean, there's no obvious story to it in terms of what's going on, but just the it's fun. I've had quite a lot of fun with it. Another thing that's really important about this game as well is the sound. You can hear when people are running around, and you can hear pretty clearly where they are. So if you have enemies advancing on you, you can pretty much locate them if you've got like Turtle Beaches on or whatever, like I do right now. There's only one enemy left. Let's go and find him. There it is. Sweet. So these game modes, they do get pretty competitive. You don't have health regeneration like you do on Call of Duty. It's literally like if you take the amount of damage that'll kill you, you won't be able to regenerate back up. You'll just be on 1% health or something like that. So if we go, yeah, back to the menu. So the good points about this game, the gameplay is really fast and intense when you get into it. The graphics they're good. I mean, I can see why they aren't amazing, because the amount of things that can be going on the screen at once. There'll be bullets flying everywhere, and walls getting blown up, and bits of cover getting shot to pieces, and there'll be particles flying around everywhere. It'd be difficult to have a decent frame rate like this does, and to have really good graphics as well with the amount of things going on screen. I think the choice of operators is good, with like pretty balanced classes. The weapons all seem to be, well, different, because they have different recoil patterns and stuff, and they each seem to have like a different like ability, well, not ability, a different kind of forte, if you know what I mean. Like this, the AUG has higher damage and a higher fire rate, but it's got much more recoil. So it's the sort of thing that you'd use burst fire or single shot at like medium to long range and stuff. Whereas the 5.52 has less recoil but less damage, so it's the sort of thing that you just use it close quarters. And then you just got a big fuck off LMG, because why not? So, Jesus Christ, look at the recoil pattern on that. It's a 45 caliber though, I guess. Yeah, so anyway, there's a good variety of classes, different attackers and different defenders with different abilities that all seem to have their good uses. There's no classes that I've looked at and gone, why would you pick that? It's really fun when you're playing it with your friends, like when you're tactically clearing through buildings and stuff, and you're shouting clear and whatever. It's a good gameplay feeling to just be running through a building with your mates, nailing enemies and not taking any hits and stuff. It's really good. You can really get your tactics nailed on this. The gameplay is I've got to say, the gameplay is different every time. Like Terrorist Hunt, you can just jump into it and it'll cycle through completely random game modes on random maps, and it'll be like Hostage Rescue, for example. Even if it's 2 maps in a row that are the same, the hostage will be in a different place every single time. Sometimes it'll cycle back to being in the same place, but you're never going to play 2 games in a row that are the same. Obviously, one of the big bad points that a lot of people have been talking about is the fact that there's no campaign. Co-op campaign on Vegas 2 was one of the biggest draws for me towards the franchise. But I think the multiplayer does make up for it. I mean, a lot of games nowadays have just kind of moved towards multiplayer only. Like, I know the new Battlefront has done that, and that's drawn a lot of controversy for not having a story to it. But I mean, I don't know. I'm not having less fun because this doesn't have a story mode on it. I'm still having quite a bit of fun on it, and it was worth me getting it, because I was debating getting it brand new or not, and I eventually did, and one of my mates got it at the same time. So I think if you're gonna have fun in this, you need to have at least one friend that has it. I know more of my mates are getting it over Christmas, but you need to have friends playing it. Otherwise, it's limited in terms of fun factor. I think the weapon variety is pretty good, and the customization it's all right. I mean, it's not amazing like I spoke about before, but it's all right. I think what I'd like to see is new maps coming out. I mean, I don't know if you're gonna have to buy them or not. Probably will do, but new maps are needed. New characters. I mean, I've not filled up all the slots for new characters yet, but I want more characters to come out for different factions. But overall, I'm really pleased with the gameplay. The multiplayer gameplay has got the whole sort of Call of Duty type feel in terms of I wouldn't class it the same as Call of Duty. I'd put it more towards kind of Counter-Strikey than Call of Duty, but it's got that whole nerve-wracking feeling when you're the last operator alive against 4 enemies, which is good. The multiplayer is really tense and competitive, which it doesn't get boring, constantly being on edge and thinking about what move you're going to make next and what the enemy could do and stuff like that. So, no, I've been really pleased with it. I think it was definitely well worth buying. I was debating getting it or not, but I'm glad I did now because I'm having a lot of fun with this game. I think it wouldn't have been necessarily better if it had a campaign. I think there would have just been more stuff to do on it. So yeah, the review's been quite short on this. I mean, there's not much I can show you, to be honest, apart from I think I did part 1 gameplay of just doing different things in which I did the Tubular Assault plane thing again, but I did a bit of multiplayer as well, but there's not much I can talk about on this game, to be honest. It's quite a small, I wouldn't say quite a small game, but I mean there's not many features to it, which I think the multiplayer, given that it's the main draw, is all there really is to talk about, to be honest. But you know, overall, good game, well worth buying. So, yeah, I think that's about it.